Members of Alpha Company 311th Brigade Support Battalion recently took part in their annual training at Camp Clark in Nevada, Missouri. There were three main areas of focus for the training, and soldiers worked with equipment that pertains to their respective jobs. The motor transport operators, transportation experts, worked with the Enhanced Container Handling Units, or ECUs. The petroleum supply specialists set up a fuel support system point, or FSSP. The water treatment specialists worked with the Tactical Water Purification Systems, or TWIPs. Alpha Company recently helped their fellow citizens in High Ridge get clean drinking water after their water treatment facility was damaged during the historic winter flooding. Since the call could come at any moment, the guardsmen have to be up to speed on their equipment.
The readiness of the Guard is critical to the state of Missouri. That's why we train and train, so we're there and we're ready. When the call comes, we've got sometimes less than 2 hours to get our gear and get to the armory, get our briefing, and start rolling.
We're always prepared for state emergency duty and deployments, but when we actually get to bring the equipment out before those events happen, we get to see what problems have occurred over the winter months that we haven't been able to use the equipment and correct any equipment problems that we might have.
Water treatment specialists from Alpha Company 935th Aviation Support Battalion also participated in the TWIPs training.
We've worked with them a little bit. We got to work with them in High Ridge. That's the first time we'd ever talked to any of them. And then from that is where this spurred. Let's get together at AT and do a little co-training, since we both use the same piece of equipment.
Which is very important because they have skill sets that they may use more than we do, just based on their aviation mission, our BSB mission.
Being able to run the TWIPs, being able to operate that gives you the chance of being able to go out and help your community when they're in need.
It makes Missouri the go-to state for a natural disaster and people need water, and bottled water isn't the best option. It makes us the #1 state to come, hey, they've got 2 of them. But we get called about once a year for some sort of water purification.
The FSSP can hold up to 120,000 gallons of fuel. In a war zone or natural disaster, this is where trucks would come to fuel up. The soldiers of Alpha Company had someone experienced with this system in Specialist Tony Leo, who spent multiple deployments in Iraq working with the collapsible fuel systems.
You can break this system down fairly quickly and move it, and then put it back up fairly quickly as well. If it's a smaller operation, we could have 3 bags and it could be set up within 5 hours. Some tips would be to brief over the flow of the fuel, what direction your fuel is going. It is important for the bags to be a certain way, for the berm to be dug a certain way. So at the end of the bag, when you're emptying the bag out, all the fuel will flow towards the end coupler.
The motor transport operators had a chance to train on the newly acquired ECU systems. Safety is always a priority, and the soldiers have to go through the process 8 times, 4 without a container and 4 with a container, before being licensed on the system.
It's complicated. There's a lot of pinch points, a lot can go wrong, a lot of heavy equipment. Got a lot of little stuff you gotta do in the right order.
It's a very touchy system. You just gotta learn it, and you gotta learn it slow.
For many of the members of Alpha Company 311th BSB, their unit is a family. There are bonds created during annual trainings such as this one. The camaraderie was evident when the soldiers took time to properly send off one of their own, Staff Sergeant Christopher Haynes. Sergeant Haynes moved on to the Camp Clark Training Center Command after spending 14 years with Alpha Company. He was presented with a Guidon streamer.
So I'd like to present that to you so you can keep and maintain it. And just thank you for all your service. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
I made a lot of good friends, a lot of good colleagues, and people that have taken care of me, and I've taken care of them. I actually kind of miss them a little bit, but it's to help with my full-time career moving on.
Members of these 2 support companies know that they often have the opportunity to use their skill sets to help their fellow Missourians.
It's a wonderful experience, and it gives you a sense of pride because the civilian side doesn't always get to see what you do, but when you're deployed on a state level or a local level, they get to see you in action, and they can take a lot more pride in what assets we have as a state as well.
Being in a brigade support battalion is great because we get to do everything. We don't get to be seen as much because we're maybe on the back end, but we're helping everyone else to make sure the mission gets done.